style and influence of the savvy CEO, I'll take you through a process where you can release your fears and embrace your femininity as a powerful tool to unleash your audacious confidence and win. This is where it all began for me, and I want to share it with you. Get your copy today at acradio.live. Bring out your beauty and confidence from the inside out. Buy this book today at www.acradio.live.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Hi, I'm Alicia Couri, and I'm here to influence, educate, inspire, and entertain you with audacious confidence. Audacious confidence is the unshakable belief in yourself that's so bold and so daring that you live your life without limits or restrictions. So join me on my show, Unleash Your Audacious Confidence, so we can discover the unknown you. Call in to join the conversation at 888-565-1470. Let's get started. Hello, hello. It is Monday. It's November. Can you believe it's November? And everybody knows what I'm doing right now, right? If you've watched me or listened at any point in time, you know that I'm out there inviting people on Facebook to come and watch us live. So, because will be an amazing show today. So I'm just hitting as many people as I can hit right now. And then in the break, I'll hit some more to invite them to tune into the show. So I hope everyone had a great day and has an absolutely phenomenal week planned and had a wonderful weekend. I had a very interesting weekend. I spoke at an event this Sunday. I went to 3 events this week, since Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah.
All the days.
4, all the days. So I'm a little bit worn right now, and so I just need to recoup. But I can't recoup because Wednesday I'll be on Freddie's show, and then Thursday I'll be back in Sarasota doing 4 more episodes for Aging Gracefully, their television show over there for SNN TV. Hi, Nancy O'Neill and the crew over there at SNN in Sarasota. Ooh, this mic is bouncing back on me.
There you go.
So, but today I'm so excited because this woman that's sitting across from me, and we we actually just spoke about this because in the picture that was promoting the show, she was wearing pink and I was wearing red, and now we flip-flopped. I'm wearing pink and she's wearing red, so that's pretty exciting. And both of us are in jeans, so there you go. So this woman, I'm so excited to have her on the show. She, for a lot of reasons. I've known her for about 4 years now, and she is absolutely phenomenal and amazing. This is Dr. Jenna. Say your last name for me. Bofshever. Because I didn't want to mess that up, because you know me in names. So, she's a leading South Florida wellness champion and dedicated health advocate. She's influenced the industry for over 8 years now. She's a graduate of the State University of New York.
At Binghamton.
At Binghamton, and her doctorate in chiropractic from Life University. Dr. Jenna has completed postgraduate training in pediatrics through the ICPA, and after beginning her career at a high-volume family care center in Pennsylvania, she relocated down here to South Florida. We're so excited. Woohoo! And she owns her own clinic. She, her own wellness clinic, and she has such an incredible spirit, and she's really committed to the well-being of her client. It's holistic, the way you treat your clients. Is from head to toe. It's everything. And she's a standout force in the community. She does so much good work, and she speaks. She's a motivational speaker. She's a lifestyle expert, wellness expert, from prenatal to pediatric care to family wellness and beyond. Dr. Jenna believes your health is in your hands, but her hands are there to help you. So, that's
right.
Dr. Jenna,
Thank you for having me. Yay. And I promise to bring the energy. I am not as run down as you are, so let's do it.
Hi, everybody watching on Facebook. I see you guys.
Hi. I don't know where to look.
And yeah. Just look at the camera over there. So say hi, and on Periscope and YouTube and everybody watching everywhere. So Dr. Jenna's office is in West Broward, 7119 West Broward Boulevard in Plantation. So after this, if you want to go visit her, we'll give you her contact. Not tonight, yeah. We'll give you all her contact information for that. But I wanted to ask you, first of all, what are some of the biggest misconceptions about chiropractic care?
Got it. So that's a big question to cover.
Yeah.
I'd say the biggest preconceived misconception about chiropractic care is that you have to have something wrong with you in order to go. So many times when I meet someone and I say, hey, nice to meet you, I'm Dr. Jenna, I'm a chiropractor. And what do you think they do? Like, oh, my neck. Oh,
I had an accident.
Yeah. Or people are like, I'm good, I don't need you. And I'm like, okay, do you have a spine? You know, how do you know? And that's really the thing, because the truth about what I do is that, yes, what most people walk in the door for is because of pain, neck pain, lower back pain, headache, sciatica, and we do really well with those cases. But where we really shine and where people truly benefit from chiropractic care is when it's a long-term correction for lifestyle. So there's lots of people that come in because of constipation, kids with frequent ear infections. I mean, and people with no symptoms whatsoever, just looking to have, people having trouble sleeping, people looking for increased energy, but people that are healthy, they're living the lifestyle, they're working out, they're eating the foods, and there's like a piece missing. They're not functioning at their absolute best. And so that's how they find their way into our office, and we do an evaluation. And it turns out that a lot of people can benefit from care instead of having to wait for a crisis to make a decision about, let me go see someone.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Constipation, ear infections, all those things can be affected by, we talked about your central nervous system when I went to see Dr. Jenna.
I'm like, we didn't today yet, but yeah.
No, but we did, you know, because your spine houses so much, your spinal cord and everything. It's all interconnected from your brain all the way to your tippy toes.
Absolutely. So you're right. That's the control center. And we did a good job educating you on that visit, because great job relaying the message. But what we're working with is the nervous system. And so most people think that we're using the spine solely. And we use the spine to access the neurology. That's how your brain and your body communicate. And that all happens through your nervous system by the signals that are sent down the spinal cord and then out the nerves. So the signal's either going to come through clear or it'll come through muffled. But if it's coming through muffled, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's pain or a symptom on the other end. So when you talk about functioning, whether it's a brand new baby or it's a grown adult, everyone can function better, whether you're a couch potato or a professional athlete. Like, what's that competitive edge for you?
Right.
And that's what we check for.
Dropping some knowledge on you.
Boom.
Boom. I told you that you're going to learn something that you probably didn't already know. So, Dr. Jenna, what is your mission and your vision?
Cool. So my mission is to motivate and inspire people to live life to its fullest potential. And I use chiropractic as my venue to do that. It's really the difference between someone kind of living with their light. If you have a light in the room on a dimmer switch and it's turned down, and with chiropractic, we come through and we just kind of turn it up a little bit.
All right.
So mission is to motivate and inspire people to live life to its fullest potential. And my vision is that we are the epicenter of natural health in South Florida. That means before people are turning to medications and surgeries, that they're coming in through our doors to Dr. Jenna Chiropractic for checkups to make sure that that brain-body connection is as free and clear as possible, so that their bodies can best heal, feel, and adapt on its own.
Wow. Okay. We need to just sit and listen to that for a second.
and I speak fast because I'm from New York.
That was a lot. but yeah, so sometimes things aren't functioning correctly, and the first thing people do is they run for pain medication, or they run for something to kind of ease that symptom, when, you know, a quick visit to Dr. Jenna can actually find the source of what that issue is, so it's not a recurring issue.
Totally. That comes up a lot. You know, and we're honest, we tell people, like, it's a lot cheaper and a lot faster to take a pill. So if you're looking for that quick fix, it's not the right fit. Where people truly benefit is with long-term care. It's two things to really get to the next level. It's repetition, and it's repetition over time.
Consistency.
You got it. With anything, right? Relationships, you name it. And it's the same thing for your health. So you can't just decide that on Monday that's when you're going to eat salad and exercise and get the sleep. Like, you got to do it consistently if you want to achieve the goal. And chiropractic works the exact same way. So, you know, this wellness word is kind of thrown around all over the place, and we're really talking about expressing that it has to be done consistently and repetitively over time to achieve the best results for it.
Right. And I wanted to ask you about, because this show is about confidence. It's all about confidence. And, you know, we're going to weave it in here somehow. Listen.
Audacious.
We're audacious confidence, yes. Because what do you do on a regular basis to keep your energy level up and to keep yourself feeling great and audaciously confident?
Got it. So there's a lot of things in my daily routine. Maybe people would call it OCD, but it's just my lifestyle, okay? Things that I've developed and adopted as part of what worked for me personally over the years. The first and foremost thing is that I live the lifestyle that we preach about in the office. So there's 5 foundational components to your health. It's proper nutrition, adequate motion, getting quality rest, having a positive mental attitude, and having a properly functioning nerve system. So those are vital for me no matter what. Like, I see my chiropractor every week. I'm always conscious of the foods I'm putting in my body. I see my personal trainer every Tuesday and Friday morning. That's my commitment to my physical activity. And when we come to the part about the mindset, I have a whole bunch of rituals and routines that I do, starting from, I literally read my goals. They're handwritten on a piece of paper. And when I wake up in the morning, I say a prayer out loud, and then I read all of my goals. So I'm reminding my brain, okay, here's what we're going to do today.
You're right.
And I have a few things that I say out loud to tell myself, because how many people wake up on a Monday and they're like, oh,
it's Monday.
Right. And then the whole rest of your day goes just like that because you set the tone. So for me in the morning, there were so many days where I was waking up and I was exhausted and I just wasn't feeling it. And I read the law of attraction. It talked about, what you think about, you bring about. And so just change what you're telling yourself.
Right.
So every morning I say, today's going to be a great day. I'm going to wake up revived, revitalized, refreshed, tireless, full of energy, and calm, because I was like bringing it all the way up. I needed to kind of balance it a little bit. So those are part of what I do, and it works for me. And whenever I feel stuck or down, I just kind of reset and take a look at my job, and my mission is to help and motivate and inspire other people, so I don't get to have a down day.
Right.
So when it's time to be on,
you got to be on.
You got to be on.
Right. And so I have a question from Carliana in Jacksonville.
Hey.
She wants to know, what about kids?
What about
How do you
kids?
care for kids?
Okay, great question. So a lot of people are surprised to find out that kids can go to the chiropractor. Same thing for babies, because they're like, my child is perfect. What could possibly be wrong? Because again, it's that preconceived misconception that you have to have a problem to go. So I will say this. There are a handful of issues that people will help them find their way to the office. The most common things when we're dealing with babies is going to be things like colic, reflux. A lot of parents coming in desperate because their kids are on Zantac and they're prescribing medications and they don't want it.
Oh my gosh, my daughter was on Zantac and Propulsid for 6 months.
And and I get it. When your kids not stop crying, like, you will do anything. But the thing is that parents, they don't know that there's another option out there. And this is not a conversation of, are drugs good or bad or things like that, but that there's another choice out there for people to make that doesn't involve that. And then we get things like constipation, frequent ear infections, like we mentioned earlier. And then think about this. As a child grows and develops, that's happening at an exponential rate to that of an adult, right? So how many times does someone show up in my office and they're in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, and they're having an issue, ache, or complaint going on? And we take a step back and we say, okay, this didn't start last week when you sneezed. This was a process that started back when
in childhood.
You were, what are kids doing all day long? They're texting, they're on their laptops, they're carrying heavy backpacks. So this is repetitive habits that are happening on a daily basis, whether it's in the form of chemical stresses, from foods you eat, things you drink, drugs, full prescription or not, physical stresses, and you talk about with kids, they're texting, they're not even playing outside anymore, and also emotional stresses, and that can have an impact on how that communication happens between the brain and the body. So wouldn't you want, listen, healthy kids become healthy adults.
Yes.
Sick kids become sick adults. So what if we broke that cycle and allowed children to grow and develop in a world where they were having proper nutrition, adequate motion, quality rest, having a positive mental attitude, and making sure that that signal from the brain to out to the body is always clear?
So I want to ask real quickly. So if you're looking for a chiropractor, then for your kids, do you have to make sure you get a pediatric chiropractor?
So there are some offices that feel more comfortable in that realm. Like there's some people that focus specifically on sports. There are some that focus specifically on pediatrics. And we have extra training in that because it's our passion. My training was through the International Chiropractic Pediatric Association. So if you're local, you're welcome to come in and see us. But there are plenty of phenomenal chiropractors all around the world that are International Chiropractic Pediatric Association. ICPA, the number 4 kids.org is a great resource for you to go on there, type in your zip code, your country, or your place, and they'll help you find someone. And what I just want to put out there real quick is that a lot of times people freak out when they're thinking about kids and chiropractic because they're maybe picturing a sound like that, or that it's this really aggressive and harsh process. And when we're working with babies and kids, it's mostly sustained pressures. And it's very light forces, but they're applied in a specific way that's meant to bring about a change to remove interference to the nervous system, something we call subluxation.
All right. So we have to take a quick break.
Okay.
I hope you guys can breathe because we're going to be back with Dr. Jenna. Hi, I'm Alicia Couri, and you know me from my radio show, Unleash Your Audacious Confidence with Alicia Couri. If you lack confidence and boldness to really go out there and conquer the world, I'm here to share this valuable resource. In my book, Your Signature Style, Unlocking the Confidence, Style, and Influence of the Savvy CEO, I'll take you through a process where you can release your fears and embrace your femininity as a powerful tool to unleash your audacious confidence and win. This is where it all began for me, and I want to share it with you. Get your copy today at acradio.live. Bring out your beauty and confidence from the inside out. Buy this book today at www.acradio.live. Afraid of needles? Anxious about going under the knife? Do the words invasive surgery make you queasy to think about? After years of being mistaken for someone in her 20s, Alicia Couri, a mom of 3 in her late 40s, finally got tired of hearing, "You should write a book about why you look so young." So that's exactly what she did. In her book, Age Younger, 21 Tips to Make Your 40s Look Like Your 20s, she outlines 21 of her top tips for looking and feeling decades younger. These tips can easily be implemented into your own lifestyle so you too can make your 40s look like your 20s. Go to acradio.live to order your copy today. You're listening to Unleash Your Audacious Confidence with Alicia Couri. Now, let's get back to the show. And we're back. You almost caught us chit-chatting here. But we're back, and hasn't this really been phenomenal? It's been really great, really great information, right? So if you missed it, it'll be on replay on YouTube, and it'll be on replay here on the page on Facebook as well, and on my website, so you can look at it again if you missed any of it, because this is really great, vital information for you. I know we talked about some of the misconceptions, and what I want to ask is, what are some of the most surprising things that people have come through your door? Because, I mean, you've already surprised us with a lot of things.
Let's talk about constipation.
Yes,
because a lot of people are fully, you know what, and that's a real thing. I'll share the story of how that even came about. It wasn't ever a question that I'd ask on my intake forms, and this is back when I was practicing in Pennsylvania. I had a woman come in, and she was bent over, and she was in a lot of pain, and she's like, "Doc, can you help me?" And I said, "Well, let's do an exam. Let's see what's going on." But I think yes. And she had come in for a handful of visits, and she said to me, her name was Maria, and she said, "I got to ask you a question." "Sure, Maria, what's up?" And if you've heard me speak before, chances are you've heard this story, because it's one of my favorite ones to share. So humor me if you've heard it before. And she said, "I'm going to the bathroom." And I was like, "Okay." And she said, "I'm going to the bathroom a lot." And I said, "Maria, number 1 or number 2? And she said, "Number 2. And I said, "How often are you going?" And she was shocked, and she's like, "I'm going every day." And I was like, "Maria,
you're supposed to go.
You're supposed to go every day." And she's like, "And look at this." She's like, "I already lost all this weight." She's like, "I didn't know chiropractic was for weight loss." And I'm like, "Neither did I." Here's the thing. It turns out, and I asked her, I was like, "How often were you going to the bathroom?" And I can't remember at this point, this is years already, if it was, she was either going once a week or every 2 weeks. It was something like insane that when I share this story, people's jaws are always like, oh my God. But the truth is that from that point on, I started asking in my initial visit, "How often do you poop?" And people get uncomfortable. But then so many people were telling me that they weren't going to the bathroom regularly, but all these people were eating regularly, which means that there's toxicity in their body. And when that starts to build up, you're not functioning well because you're literally full of it. And what's going to be that impetus to help you clear that out? Like, so when you talk about increasing energy levels, being able to feel better and function better, like, you have to get the waste out of your body.
Right.
So, I said to her, I was like, here's the deal. She had been taking fiber supplements. She was eating all the things. So she felt terrible because it was all kind of adding up in there, and her body was still working. It just wasn't working at its best. So that's like my number 1 favorite thing to share because of that. I'd say the other most, I don't like to use the word crazy, but shocking thing that comes in is a lot of times for kids, so many parents come into the office and they say to me, I'm here as a last resort. And I really wish that wasn't the case. And that's why I like to be on shows like this. That's why you'll constantly see me out there in the community speaking about this, because there is another option for people. I like to take the most conservative approach first. So why not do what's most conservative, for example, something like chiropractic, and if you're then not getting the results that you're looking for, then we can refer out, so then you can then go down the path of drugs and medication and then surgery. The thing is that once you have surgery, you can't undo it.
Right.
And there's a time and a place for it, but so many people don't realize that there's other tools out there and other things to explore before getting to that point.
Getting into surgery or drugs. Very good information. I have Jason Marrero said, "Hey, Jenna, thanks for giving my little Nolan his first chiropractic moment at the beach."
That's my buddy.
How old was Nolan?
He was 2 months old.
2 months old. So those who are asking about kids, see, they can be any age and get a little chiropractic care.
It's the whole thing. If you have a nervous system, which is, let's face it,
everybody.
Yeah. I joke, like, if you're spineless, don't come see me, but we probably could still work with you. We'll just have to adjust. Our way of going about it.
So one of the other questions I did want to ask you is about posture, because we talked about kids with their cell phones. And in my book, Age Younger, little plug, hello.
By the way, she looks phenomenal. I don't know if you share your age, but like, you look amazing.
48.
I mean, come on.
48 and a half.
She's living the lifestyle.
I'll be almost 49 next
48
year.
and a half? When do we stop counting halves? Like, I thought that stops.
No. Listen, 48 and a half. 48 in 6 months. So it's 48 exactly and a half. So I'm still taking it. So I talk in my book about your posture and aging, because it's so vital to have correct posture and not, because we're, let's face it, growing up kids now that are bent over. And it used to be that you were bent over because you were too tall and you wanted to kind of, hide your thing. But talk a little bit about posture and about posture and aging.
Sure. So it's a major problem that we're starting to see in kids coming in. See, in the normal spine, sometimes we do take x-rays in the office depending on what's going on with the patient. And you should have, when you stand straight ahead, you should have a straight line. And when you stand sideways, there should be curves in the spine. And normal, there's this C-shaped curve that faces backwards like that in the neck. And what happens is, what we're starting to see is that
it's
a lot younger, if not lost the curve, it's actually reversed, which puts a ton of extra pressure and stress on all the nerves and that spinal cord passing through there. And again, we talk about sick kids become sick adults. So when you think about what a child's doing, I was talking with a 9-year-old the other day, and I asked her about riding a bike, and she said she didn't know how. And I asked her, I'm like, do you and your friends go and play outside? And the answer, was no. I'm like, what do you guys do? They sit next to each other on the couch.
And they text each other.
And it's literally, it's this. And you guys all know this. And it's looking down. So there's a lot of pressure back here on all the musculature and through there. And you're rounding forward to the shoulders. Like, if you try to take a deep breath in and you're rounding forward like this, you can't. Okay? Your heart has to beat in there. So now we're compressing on all of our vital major organs, and you just can't function at your best. Think about if you take even a depressed person, what's the physiology that they're in? They're not functioning at their best versus someone who's happy and doing well.
Right.
Because now I could fully breathe. Oxygen's really important. I don't have to tell you guys that. You all know that. And so what happens is, if you create these postural distortions, maybe on a day-to-day basis, it's not as big of a deal.
And it's not just your spine, because like you said, the ligaments and the muscles get stretched.
Everything's, what's attached to the spine? Muscles, ligaments, tendons, all of it.
Tendons and everything. And then they don't bounce back like they should.
Right. Ligaments are kind of like rubber bands, right? If you stretch a rubber band a little too much, it doesn't fully go back to where it was. So then there's issues of hypermobility, hypomobility. But what we start to see is, if there's improper structural alignment going on, then what has to happen is the functionality is going to change. And so what we see, if that's not corrected, then that becomes degenerative.
Right.
And so nobody wants to have spinal degeneration, because once you have that, it's irreversible.
It's irreversible.
So when you want to be young and stay active and be mobile, then it's vitally important that that structural alignment is doing what it's supposed to and behaving as close to normal, because that's going to dictate what the functionality is going to look like for you. And that's going to be something that's going to allow you to, age younger. I got you, girl.
Thank you, Dr. Jenna. I should have you when I do the next one when I'm 50.
We're going on tour.
Write something in my book. Sandra says she so needs this, and I have a bunch of people listening and watching. So what else? You've given us so much. We have a couple minutes left. Tell us how we can get in touch with you. And we'll give the address of your location again.
Sure. So my practice is I'm down here in the greater Fort Lauderdale area, and we are in Plantation. The easiest way to find us is by going online to favoritechiropractor.com.
favoritechiropractor.com.
favoritechiropractor.com. If you happen to not be local, you can feel free to reach out to our office. We're happy to find you someone. We have a phenomenal network of people, not only all around the country.
Okay, so someone did ask. She said, I so need this, but she's up in Atlanta. So
and listen, Sandra, I went to school up there. I've got plenty of good people, plenty of great people for you to go see up there. Feel free to reach out to our office, favoritechiropractor.com. We are serving the greater Fort Lauderdale community, but we get people driving down from Boca like we're at now, and they're like, can't you open an office up here? We're not looking to do that just yet, but you could drive to come see us. And that's the easiest way to find us is by going online. You can also...
FavoriteChiropractor.com.
You got it, FavoriteChiropractor.com. We're also very active on social media, so
yes,
you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, all the things. Our handle to follow is Dr. Doctor Jenna, Gena. Feel free to follow along.
All right, great. Dr. Jenna has dropped some serious knowledge on us today.
Knowledge bombs.
Education, because, you know, I like to educate people, and especially talking about confidence, because having your central nervous system function correctly, oh, she's in Columbus, Georgia. Having it function correctly will help you boost and build your confidence.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
And just talking about breathing deeply, just talking about being able to sit up straight, you know, things like that. Just talking about, you know, your core, being able to have a strong core, and all those things help your confidence, physically help you feel better.
Totally.
Physically.
You know, there's a lot to be said for fake it till you make it. And so many people come in and they're hurting or they're in a dark place from that emotional standpoint. And it's like, slap a smile on your face. Tell your brain, okay, today's going to be a great day, and start to change that physiology. And through there, and through doing things and like standing up tall, straight, smiling, breathing. But it's those 5 things. It's nutrition, motion, rest, positive mental attitude, and that nerve system connection. Like, those are vitally important as a baseline, for sure.
Yes, I love it, Dr. Jenna. So, Sandra, make sure you connect with Dr. Jenna online, or you can call the office?
Yep, 954-417-5815. That's 954-417-5815.
And all that information will be on my website, acradio.live. acradio.live. Thank you, Dr. Jenna, and I will be back next week. Thank you all for watching, for listening. I love you all. You know that.
Thank you for having me.
And yes, and we will have her back, of course, because that was a lot.
Bye.
Bye. A wise friend always says to me, we have a finite number of minutes to spend. And just like you can only spend $1 once, you can only spend 1 minute once. It's your choice. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for choosing to spend some of your minutes with me on my show. I wish you love, health, and happiness to live your life with audacious confidence. I love you, and we'll see you next time.